You're listening to the Geriatric Mamas Podcast with Jessica Raziri
and Sonia Tapley.
Welcome, everybody, to the Geriatric Mamas Podcast. Tiffany is here today to discuss kind of a heavy one. We have a heavy topic for everybody today, but it's definitely something that's important, that is not discussed enough, and that is miscarriages. A lot of women go through it. A lot of them just kind of feel the need to keep it to themselves for one, reason or another. And because of that, there's kind of like a stigma around it. And it's just an unspoken thing that happens. And the truth is it's a very common thing. And so we're going to dive into that today. Both Tiffany and I, unfortunately, have stories to share that pertain to this. So we're going to open up and go over those. But before we dive into that, just kind of want to go over a few facts about miscarriages. About 10 to 20% of pregnancies end in a miscarriage. The actual number is likely higher because many miscarriages occur very early in pregnancy, often before the woman realizes that she's pregnant. A lot of times, I know a couple of mine were I've had like 30, just kidding. One of mine was very, very early, and it was actually considered what they call like a chemical pregnancy. And I only knew that I was pregnant because obviously I was doing the whole 2-week wait and I was trying and everything. But had I not been trying and had I, not been tracking it and testing or whatever, I would have just assumed that my period was delayed by a couple of days. So I wouldn't have known that it was actually a chemical pregnancy / miscarriage that was taking place. About 70% of miscarriages are due to chromosome defects. A positive spin to this, one that was helping Tiffany and I really make sense of it, is that your body is basically doing what it was designed to do. So it recognized that there was something not right about the embryo and it rejected it. We made other jokes that were inappropriate that we will not be sharing, but by light of the situation, it's like, moving on. Geriatric mamas, women 35 and older, have an increased risk of having miscarriages. The age of the man could also increase the odds as well. Other factors that can contribute to miscarriage include smoking, drinking alcohol, using street drugs, cocaine, meth, heroin, as they say in the streets, being exposed to harmful chemicals, having two or more previous.
Is heroin an actual thing?
No, it's actually it's hair. It's heroin. Yeah. But whenever we watch I watch Love After Lockup or like any of whatever, they're just like hair on.
Seriously, I didn't know that. I learned a new important fact today. Very important.
That's buzz on the streets. It's called hair on.
Important to stay away from.
Right. Yeah, stay away. So just if you don't want a miscarriage, just cut back on your use of hair on for a little bit, and then you can resume. I'm just kidding.
Thanks. Good thing you explained that to me.
Yeah. So having 2 or more previous miscarriages, autoimmune disorders, obesity, having a BMI of 30 or higher, hormone problems such as PCOS, thyroid problems, kidney disease, congestional heart disease, severe malnutrition, stress. Although there are things that you can do to reduce the risk, there's really no real way to prevent a miscarriage. So if your body is going through the motions and already like stripping down the layers of the lining to reject the embryo, you can't stop the inevitable. It's going to happen.
Don't you wish you could just go in there and just like plant the embryo? That would just be amazing.
Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of what they do in IVF. Oh no, but they don't implant it.
They just still shoot it up there. But I feel like my doctor kind of, I don't know. I feel like he's magical because he's gotten so many women pregnant. But
did you know, before we go into the next thing, did you know about what's it called? It's embryo glue.
No. What?
Yeah.
So embryo glue?
Yes. So I think there's another term for it, but Dallas IVF used it. So I talked to Dr. Koo about it he's like, yeah, we use that. So they include it in the catheter that they use to shoot it up, and it's just a little bit, it's not really glue, but it's like it kind of works as glue.
Yeah.
So it basically helps
That's
it puts
amazing.
like a coating or something. Yeah, it puts a coating or something around the embryos to help it stick.
Yeah. That's amazing.
To the lining, so it helps it attach. Yeah.
Makes me wonder
I
if
know.
Dr. Landon did
Isn't
the
that
same
crazy?
thing. Yeah. All right. So now we're going to talk about why the topic of miscarriage is so taboo. Loss is hard to talk about. Obviously, we all know that. Many women decide to wait until the second trimester before announcing their pregnancy, when the risk of miscarriage drops dramatically, which, it's
hello, Bradley, in the background.
I was like, did one of the pugs explode or something?
I thought it was a pterodactyl all of a sudden, but no, it's just Tiffany's
Absolutely
child.
sounds like a baby dinosaur. It's a new thing, and yes, part of being a geriatric mama, it's hard to get that sound out when you're trying to get stuff done. Yes.
It's kind of adorable.
It's so funny.
So cute.
He's very proud of it. So sorry.
So no, it's okay. So as most geriatric mamas know, the risk of loss kind of goes down dramatically for the second trimester. So that's why a lot of women wait. If they never announce they were pregnant, it's difficult to announce they experience loss.
Just take a pause for a minute. That actually really hit with me, because it's so true. It was not a lot of people knew that we were trying.
Mm-hmm.
And I also I was afraid to tell a lot of people, because like, well, God forbid, like, something did happen and then I'd have to explain that. And that was really hard. So then like when we did lose, then it's like, how do you turn around and then say, oh, we were pregnant, now we're not again.
Right.
And so like we were literally just kind of suffering quietly, and it was like only my close friends knew about it. And it's like a lot of women, I think what ends up happening is like this is a lot more common than people realize. So then what happens is when it does happen to you, all you see are these like beautiful birth or pregnancy announcements on social media. You don't see any announcements of like, just had a miscarriage, like who's announcing that? And so you're literally just sitting here by yourself, and then you have people asking you like, oh, are you trying? Are you trying? You're like, well, I'm actually bleeding out my dead fetus right now. But other than that, no. It's like, what do you fucking say? Like, I'm not gonna, disclose that. So,
it's awful. It's depressing, and it's just hard to, talk about in general when you're going through all of that. So I totally get it. So because not many women share the news of having a miscarriage, this creates a misconception that it's not common, which isn't true. And that's so true. I didn't know about how many women miscarriage and how many times they miscarriage until I was actually pregnant with Annabelle. And then the first pterodactyl flying through.
Sorry.
They're not extinct.
Yeah, seriously.
But when I found out about all of that, that's when the first trimester scaries really hit home and hard. Because miscarriage isn't talked about enough, women often have the expectation that everything is going to be fine, and the risk of having a miscarriage isn't there. There's an unspoken pressure that's put on women when it comes to being able to conceive, carrying a baby to term, and birthing a healthy human. It's all on us, ladies. All on us. Women often put the blame on themselves. Yeah. And they fear judgment from others.
I was reading something, this is years ago when I had one of my first miscarriage. And when you think of the words that start with miss opportunity, misunderstanding, mistake. Miss is the indication that something was done incorrectly, right? Like it was done wrong. And so to say miscarried,
it's all
kind of implies that the woman carried her baby wrong. And so I was reading something that it's like, I didn't miscarry my baby. My baby died.
Right.
It's like there is a difference there.
Right.
And it's like, you don't really think about it, but even the word itself is putting that onus on the mother, which is like not fair, because it's not, there are obviously things that could happen that could be the mother's fault, but usually it's, unless you're out there doing hair on the streets, like it's not your fault, and it happens, unfortunately. Some of the unhelpful comments that you'll hear, and the thing, when you hear of somebody that had a miscarriage, it often can be hard for loved ones and friends to know exactly what to say. And so I think a defense mechanism is you want to be helpful, you want to fix it, and you want to say things that are going to kind of help get them out of it. And really all it's doing is it's helping that person in the moment. It's not helping the person that's going through it. And so some comments that are very unhelpful are, well, at least you can get pregnant.
It just wasn't meant to be.
I can actually say I did hear that one. And I will tell you, it was not wanted and it was not helpful. Well, it just wasn't meant to be. It's like, okay, thanks for that. Well, they're in a better place now. I never heard that one, but seriously, what the fuck? Well, you can always try again. Oh, can I? Did I get your permission to try again? Good. I'll go try that again. Like, what the fuck? It's not like I bought the wrong pair of shoes and now let me go order the right pair. Like, are you kidding me? So yeah. And again, it's like, they just truly, it's not coming from a place of them wanting to be assholes. They just don't know
what to say.
They don't know what to say. And it's literally them just wanting to, they think that they're making you feel better. And it really just doesn't help. And basically what it does is it enforces the mindset of keep it to yourself, which, further aids in the discussion of miscarriage being taboo, unfortunately. Back when Adam and I were, we got married, and then, I know I mentioned this in the opening, but, I wanted a honeymoon baby and Adam wanted to wait a little bit. And so we waited for probably a couple months, and then we weren't trying, but we weren't not trying. Like, I wasn't on birth control, we weren't obviously doing things to not have it happen. And we got pregnant pretty quickly. And of course I was just very naive to the whole idea of miscarriage. I thought you're pregnant, that's it, you're done, move on. Sonia was one of the first people to know. I was so excited. Well, back up. I was anxious. I was shocked that it happened so quickly. I showed her the sticks. I took so many, and they just kept being positive. But I was freaking out. We were in the middle of remodeling our house. We had just gotten married. We had only been married for, I want to say 4 months at this point. So it happened really soon. We didn't even have a kitchen. Our entire downstairs that you see here, it was just it was totally gutted. So it wasn't necessarily the best timing. But I was we'll figure it out. So we have to live with our in-laws for a little bit. It's fine. We'll figure this out. Like I said, we're naive. We just assumed that because it happened, it's good. It was the next day we invited my father-in-law over for dinner. We told him the news. He was so excited. He immediately starts crying, and we were just so happy about it. And then I'm on my way to work, and I woke up that morning and I was feeling kind of a weird dull pain in my lower left abdomen. And it wasn't a normal gas pain or it didn't even feel like a period cramp. It was just a weird dull ache in my lower left abdomen. And I think my heart kind of sunk a little because I think I kind of knew what was probably about to happen, or something just came over me that was just this isn't good. And I started listening to different podcasts about pregnancy, and I was actually looking for somebody to talk about the early signs of a miscarriage, or I thought I was having a miscarriage but I really wasn't, or I had a dull ache but everything was fine, because I wanted to see something to lift my spirits and be no, everything's okay.